Okay, everyone, get this. I've had an epiphany. I figured this out last night when I was watching TV. It hit me like a ton of bricks. I was watching this TV show called Hoarders, which is one of my favorite shows right now. Have you heard of this? It's where these poor, anxiety prone people are unable to get rid of the junk that they bring into their houses, and eventually their homes become so completely consumed with worthless garbage that they can barely even live there anymore. Are you ready for this? I figured out that creationists are just like those poor hoarders, but in the cognitive sense. They collect arguments over the course of their lifetimes, and they'll never let them go, no matter how broken or debunked the arguments get. Oh, look, it's the fossilized shells on top of a mountain argument. I love that one. It's a little beat up, but it's still usable. Oh, and look at this one. Irreducible complexity as it relates to the bacterial flagellum. Man, Ken Miller really destroyed this one in the Dover versus Kitzmiller case, but I'm going to keep it. I'm sure I'll find some use for it. Whether it's the Talk Origins website or Wikipedia or someplace else, find your go-to source for quick reference, all with the proper documentation and sourcing, especially for those young earther claims. Don't waste your time rephrasing all of it either. Just send it to them and debate it after they read it. Just think of the amount of time it would save you if you have one source for all the previously debunked arguments. Just to drive home the point, you may want to tell them the date the argument was originally debunked as well. Maybe, just maybe, when they see how old and broken these talking points are, this will force them to throw out some of these arguments they've been hoarding for decades now, and leave more space for actual scientific knowledge. I know, I'm a dreamer. That's what my wife loves about me. Well, that and, wait, you're all over 18, right? Here's a helpful tip that I just picked up this week. I've been debating a creationist on part 1 of this series over the past week that seemed to know the evidence for evolution better than most creationists, yet at every turn he simply decided that it wasn't enough evidence. You know how I finally broke through it? He said something about Neanderthals and other forms of early man actually being fully formed humans, and that the reason their skeletons were different was just disease or something, but of course he had no evidence to back this up despite repeated inquiries. I mentioned the fact that we have now sequenced most of the Neanderthal genome, and that they are approximately 99.5% like humans. He then asked what percentage humans were like each other. I found the answer and linked it to him, and will link it in the sidebar so that you can use it in your arguments. Even between races originating from opposite corners of the world, humans are only 0.1% different from each other in their DNA, making Neanderthals over 5 times more different from humans than we are from each other, and thus not the same species. I haven't heard from that creationist since. The lesson here is this: don't get stuck arguing with creationists about speciation that happened hundreds of millions of years ago. Their argument is that evolution never happens, and the best physical evidence we have that it did happen is from recent speciation, from apes to humans, because we have the DNA to supplement the fossil record. So use that as your starting point to make your case, and watch them either squirm or disappear. I really appreciate all the new subscriptions, by the way. I mean, who doesn't love TJ? This has all had some interesting side effects, of course. In the past 48 hours, I've had 2 Holocaust deniers that want to debate me. Why? I have no idea. I've also received 1 video response from everyone's favorite creepy creationist, Frank. And I'm expecting the flood of creationist 1-star vote bots any second now. Also, someone has finally told me I'm going to hell, which is actually a relief because I thought I would simply be doomed to debate creationists for eternity. If there was such a thing as signs of the atheist apocalypse, all of these events would be some of my top choices. It's okay though, because I'm thrilled to be able to inform and hopefully entertain you a little bit. Have a great new year, everyone, and see you in 2010.